This is just outrageous. It's not enough that Goldman Sachs is filling their pockets and Geithner is looting the treasury once more and bailing out big companies. On top of that, apparently it is not done to try to, in the future even, to try to get emergency funds in case of emergencies. Mrs. Blackburn, Marsha Blackburn, doesn't care.
That we're going to have pay-go enforcement. That we're not going to cry emergency every time we have a Katrina, every time we have a tsunami, every time we have a need for extra spending, that we don't go call for a special appropriation that allows us to circumvent the pay-go rules.
So what she's trying to say is that you have these pay-go rules which Obama introduced, which says that you only pay for what you can afford, and that if you pay for something new, that you don't pay for some other thing. And she says, well, you know, that's all fine if it's big companies, if it's the corporations, if it's the banks, but if it's the citizens and if it's those silly people with the tsunami, I think there were only like 260 to 400,000 people killed by the tsunami in Indonesia and Asia. She doesn't give, well, a damn. She thinks you shouldn't complain then and not try to get any appropriations or extra money. Well, there is no money in government, there is no money in the banking system, and she should go, because if you make these kind of statements, which basically means that you don't help anybody hit by a devastating disaster, then you're basically saying that you don't mind many of your citizens dying. And if she talks about a tsunami and there were 400,000 US citizens would die, apparently she don't consider that any emergency in need of any emergency appropriation or extra money. I think that's high treason, and I think you should get rid of this Republican Congresswoman.